Hey, welcome back to the channel. So, this is the knife, the sack you never heard of before. This is the Troubleshooter, is what this is called. And there's hardly any information out there on this knife. And, of course, I'm going to let you know all about it because that's what I do. You can see this is really interesting. You have unlimited marble there. What is that all about? And yeah, kind of interesting story behind this knife. We're going to talk about it. It is a 5-layer model. You have 4 tools on the back here. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the front. So yeah, if you'd like to hear more about this very obscure knife, go ahead and check out the video. All right, welcome back to the Fortified Castle. Hi, all my viewers. We're going to be talking about this knife, peeling back the veil of secrecy on this knife. And there really is hardly any information on this knife whatsoever on the internet. But I was able to piece together the history on this knife, and we'll talk about that. First, let's just look at the knife. So it's a 91 millimeter 5-layer Swiss Army knife. You have 4 tools on the back of it, and there you see the shield. Isn't that interesting? So do you see something weird there? Yeah. So this is the show side. Normally the shield is always on the show side of a Victorinox. See that? Every single one is going to show you. But on this one, it's on the back. Isn't that interesting? Not really sure why they did that. But yeah, we're going to go through this and figure this out and tell you everything I know about this knife. And that's pretty much the history of it, with some caveats. So you had the standard red Celador scales on this. You do have the pick and the why can I never think of what that thing is? Tweezers. So on the first layer, you have your standard cap lifter screwdriver, and on the other side, you have your can opener. And then on the next layer, you have really cool pliers. So I've been wanting to get a sack that had pliers on it. They're pretty good, pretty stout. So what's the length on those pliers there? So you see right there, 2 3/4. They're bigger than the scissors, which are pretty big, and you can expand them out. So yeah, pretty good set of pliers on there. And what's next? Focus. Hard to access the scissors. And you have your standard 91 millimeter scissors there. Cut. Ooh. Let's see. Next, you have the file saw. This is a fine tooth saw. I think it's described as a metal saw, but obviously could use that to cut wood if you needed to. And on the back layer, I'm going to open that main blade first because I already had trouble opening the small blade here. Still having trouble. Alright, so that's your tool complement. 7 tools. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 tools on the top. And let's look at the back tools now. I should have just stopped the video, shouldn't I have? That's what I should have done. Should have done that. Alright. Alright, so on the back layer you have the Phillips. If I can get it open. You have the Phillips, round Phillips there. And you have the chisel. You can see that right there. Yeah, the chisel. I like having the chisel on a knife. It comes in handy. It really does. And then you have the package opener. And then you have the... I'm not going to be able to get this out. This is one of the things I see right away. This is my first 5 layer, but these tools should have the nail nick on the other side because it's really hard to get in there, even with these closed, because when you go to pull, your hand is hitting up against the knife itself. So it's a lot harder to try to pull these out. Let me see if I can do it this way. All right. So you have the awl with the hole in it, sewing hole in it, and that's the 4 tools on the back of this knife. So let's talk about the history of this knife a little bit. All right, so this knife, you can see the unlimited marble stamp on it. Obviously an advertising knife for Marlboro. If you don't know who that is, that's a cigarette company. Was a big cigarette company, a popular brand of cigarettes back when people were polluting their mouths with those cancer sticks. So there's 6 knives in this series, the Marlboro series, and what this was, the unlimited Marlboro, it was a catalog. And so when you bought Marlboro cigarettes, you would get points like air miles or points when you buy a knife. And so you could go to the catalog and order something out of the catalog using the points you accumulated on your cigarettes. And nobody really knows when that started or when it ended. But I have deduced that that occurred between 1995 and 2005. In 2005, the federal government prohibited companies from advertising cigarettes in that manner. And so you couldn't have like promotionals and giveaways to promote smoking. And so that's when this series ended in 2005. A really interesting thing about this knife is that there's no other indication that this knife was sold other than for the Unlimited Marlboro series. In 2000, Hulfritz offered a limited edition of this knife. that actually dropped a couple of the tools in here. That picture's up there right now, and they dropped the come on. They dropped the chisel in the package opener on the back and the file on the front, and so that's kind of interesting. But that's the only other model of this that was sold, and so you know, how long were these tinkerers? I'm sorry, troubleshooters made? That's a pretty good question. So the key to figuring this knife out turns out to be the pliers. These pliers were first brought out in 1985 for the Swiss Champ, and several different models have these pliers on them. And there's 3 variations of these pliers. So this is the second variation right here, and that is the ones that have a little groove right there. You see that groove? And that's a groove for the spring to slide in. And so the scissors has that same groove put on it also. So this is the second version. The third version of this knife had crimpers on the inside here. It looked kind of like this, but hey, kind of like that, but on the inside there. So this is the second version of these crimpers. Those crimpers, that third version, was added in 1996. So these are a crimper that is prior to 1996. That would be 1995. And so also that corresponds to the date on the tank stamp here. So if you look close, you have Victorinox. Come on, Victorinox. Let's just go here. Yeah, Victorinox Switzerland stainless, rust free, and it's a large V over that. So this is the 1995 to 2005 tank stamp, and then on the back you have the Swiss officer symbol. That is not touching, and so that dates this knife to 1995. When you look, I think one of the big questions is, was this knife, this troubleshooter, sold outside of this unlimited Marlboro, right? That's a big question. A lot of people don't know the answer to that. So this model does not appear in any of the catalogs. In the 91 or the 93 or a 2001 catalog, it doesn't appear in the catalog. The brothers do. So there are cousins to this knife that did appear in the catalog, but not this one. So I think this was an exclusive knife produced for Marlboro, and not sold in any other way other than that Hofritz limited edition that was offered up there in the picture, and that was offered in 2005, I think, was the offering on that. So that's the secret to this knife. This 5-layer edition, special edition, only sold to Marlboro, was an exclusive knife for Marlboro. So that's the story on this knife, and I'm sticking to it. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. I hope you found it informative, and we'll see you in the next one. Oh, wait! I wanted to show the evolution of this knife too. So this knife, nearest relative would be the Grand Prix. I don't have a Grand Prix, so there's a Grand Prix up there. You can see that the Grand Prix didn't have. It had the thin screwdriver, not the file on it, and also um, didn't have any file on it, or I'm sorry, didn't have the pliers on it. From there, it goes to the super tinker. This is a super tinker right here, and it has the scissors and has the 3 tools on the back: the screwdriver, the package opener, and the awl. That was the father of the Grand Prix, and then of course the Tinkerer is the father of the Super Tinkerer, and that's how the lineage of this knife goes. So okay, now we'll let you go. We'll see you in the next video.